Do people in Canada have cable, like other people?
We keep this up in the playoffs. I don't care.
And at Chili's. Is it a Chili's? At Kyle's?
Achilles.
Finally.
You don't know that?
Fuck you! Get this guy the fuck out of here!
Alright, well, coming in at number 5, I got Anthony Stolars.
Now! Jets are winning the cup!
Thank you for watching and listening. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NordCast and Nord Block Pod. It is Thursday, June 5th, 2025. I don't know what day it is. I am your host here, Nordic97, joined with everybody that was here last episode, including Carter. Carter, how are we doing?
Tired.
Yeah, makes sense. We don't usually record episodes this late. Jack?
No.
How we doing?
Tired.
Jack?
Tired.
Yeah, go figure.
Yes.
And James, how we doing?
I'm exhausted.
Okay, great. So that sounds awesome. This is gonna be
Hold on. Nordic. Are you also tired or exhausted?
Oh, I am both. I am.
All right,
both.
so it's a clean sweep.
Yeah. Well, I have a good excuse for why I'm fucking tired. But so we're here today to recap Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, talk about some news around the NHL, and also get into what just happened with me today because my day was very interesting, and I do want to talk about it here on the pod. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus or anything, so just want to say that. What do you guys want to do first? Do you want to talk about my day, or do you want to talk about this game?
Let's get into your day. I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah. All right, so today was the main event. We graduated high school. That's why I'm wearing the gown here, or the cap, not the gown. I'm not wearing the gown. I'll never wear that fucking thing again. It was fine. I mean, the graduation itself felt not that slow until you got to all the people. They had to announce them individually. I'm like, dude, are you dead at? This is 500 people. It took probably a half hour to announce everybody's names. Then they played the senior video. It was pretty cool. It had me in it, all that good stuff. And then afterwards was where all the fun happened. So, if I go up, I did go to some different place to get my diploma, and I went and got that. Then I'm running across the field, the fastest I've ever ran on that field. And I go up, I hug my sister, hug my dad and my stepmom and my grandparents. My girlfriend and my other half of my family was in the stands. My dad was a VIP. He got to sit literally on the field right next to me. I'm like, my brother, what are you doing here? I know. Paul's the GOAT. So anyways, she comes up, she hugs me, and she hasn't really been feeling good the entire day, and I knew that. And all of a sudden she's like, ooh. I'm like, oh God, here we go. So she goes over to the one of the trash cans and throws up, and I'm like, all right, I wasn't mad. I'm really not mad at her. I'm not gonna lie. For this whole thing, it's actually insane that it happened when I get into it, but I'm not mad at her at all. It's really not her fault. So she throws up and pukes, and it was pretty brutal. We had Wawa hoagies before. It was, the hoagies were good, but it wasn't good seeing it come out.
Not worth it.
But we're talking there. I run to the bathroom. I get her a paper towel to wipe her face with. And then she drops her phone in the trash can.
Now, can you go more into detail with that? Was she just holding her phone?
Well, so she was she had a dress. No, so she had a dress on, okay? And she was kind of holding everything together. She had, I think, a water, her a paper with the graduate ceremony order or whatever, her phone, and then I think she might have actually been holding my cap, because I ran to go get fucking a paper towel, and I guess it slipped all the way down at the bottom of the trash can, and I'm like,
oh man,
did you fish it out?
Yes, I am a very good boyfriend and fish that thing
out. Wow.
Okay, so
you're a better man than me.
Better man than me. I'll say that. I'd be like, nope.
Well, we were, and again, I want to preface this, and she can hear me right now because we're on FaceTime. None of this is her fault. It wasn't her fault that it fell in the trash can. Yeah, it's not ideal, and it's not her fault that she puked. She just wasn't feeling good. But I went to my family. I'm like, so she just dropped her phone in the toilet. I took off my gown, and I'm wearing I'm wearing a nice button-down shirt underneath. and I'm wearing like, pants or whatever because it was a weird dress code. And I go back over there. I'm like, all right, let's dig in here. So I just kind of look away, and I'm like reaching like this, trying not to touch the least amount of puke as I possibly can. I got it like all up here within my arm. I got the phone. I went and washed the phone, cleaned the phone off, and then we went back for everything. By the time it was there, like I didn't get to. I missed. She's obviously like she's crying. She was a mess. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I don't blame her. I would have been the same way probably. And like she just and I wasn't able to like take pictures with my friends or anything. Like I am a little bit upset about that, but like it is what it is. But like holy shit. Like I was not expecting for my graduation to end that way. It again, like I want to say this for the 100th time, like it's not her fault. I'm not mad at her whatsoever. But it's just like, my God. And I'm already missing game one, so I'm already pissed off as it is. Nah, I'm kidding. But anyways, that was my night of events. I did fortunately, after dropping her off, I did get home to watch the overtime. I watched like about 13 minutes of the overtime, so I did get to see the overtime winner. But from what I can tell, this was a very good game by the Oilers. Now, Florida actually had the lead here for a lot of it. Leon Draisaitl opened the scoring in the first period from Kapanen or Wallman. And then 2 goals from Florida followed pretty much right after that. Sam Bennett scored from Verhaeghe and Tkachuk, and then Brad Marchand scored on the power play from Schmidt and Rodriguez to make it 2-1 Florida heading into the first period. Now, LeBlanc, you can tell us your story about how you did not watch the second period, but what were your takeaways from the first period?
That first period, I think Edmonton really controlled like the pace of the game. They were getting a lot of shots on net. Florida ended up coming out of the first period with the lead, though, because first goal, it was a controversial goal, and I'm like, I don't get how that's a goal, but I'm not a ref. I don't make those calls.
I did not see it. Have you guys seen it?
Carter, I didn't see it.
I saw on Twitter that like it was like there was like so much back and forth between it. It was something to do with like him getting pushed into the crease and some saying that he went into it by himself or that Kulak pushed him. I haven't seen it, so I can't really like state an opinion on it. But from what it sounded more like Kulak made a little bit more of a shove to like get him in there or kept him in. But obviously can't make a call without looking at it.
Yeah, like,
I'm seeing it right now, actually.
Like for me, it's like a 50-50. Like I could see it from both ways, but
yeah. I mean, I didn't see it. I'm not gonna lie.
Then the power play goal after because Oilers challenged it and they lost it, so it's a delayed game penalty. And then Marchand scores on that one, and that's just a nice goal. You can't really blame Stuart Skinner on that one. Oilers controlled the shots, they controlled the pace, but Florida had the lead, and that was the big story. And then from the second period, the 10 minutes that I did watch, Florida dominated the second period. Excuse me.
Yeah, it seemed like, from what I could tell, just seeing some of the highlights here right now, like Florida was the more controlling team. Sam Bennett obviously scored again from Schmidt and Verhaeghe to make it a 2-goal lead for Florida. Victor Arvidsson actually scored only like a minute 17 later. So obviously that was a good ad there for the Oilers. But heading into the third period, Florida had a 3-2 lead. And from what we've seen from Florida over the last couple of years, like whenever they're leading in the third period, I think they're like, until tonight, they were undefeated, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that might have been the record. I'm pretty sure it was something like that. They had like a pretty damn good record at it. It might not have been undefeated, but still. So third period comes along, and from what I could tell, the Oilers played a incredible third period. I think they kind of controlled play through the third period in the overtime frame. Following that, Matthias Ekholm scored his first goal back from injury from McDavid and Kapanen to tie the game about like 6:33 into the third period. And again, the Oilers outshot Florida 14-2 in that third period. And honestly, I said it in our preview. This is something like the things that I've seen from this Oilers team in a sense where they're able to come back and have the poise and the ability to it's unmatched. They did not have that last year. I think if they're down like this heading into the third period, they might not win, honestly. But this Oilers team just feels so much different to me. So before we get into the overtime frame, any takeaways from the third that you guys want to discuss?
First, I actually have the stat right here. Florida was 31-0 when having a lead in the first or second period of the Stanley Cup playoff game since Paul Maurice took over.
That's insane.
Oh wow!
But that's no limit.
Third period, I feel like Edmonton's like, right, we gotta kick this thing into high gear. Like I felt like it was just a clinic of shots, and like good on Bob for stopping most of them, but they were just like peppering him.
Yeah, and again, I think that like the Oilers, even like again, I didn't watch the third, so I'm not gonna act like I did, but like from what I saw, like even the Oilers just looked like they locked in, and I think that that's something we haven't seen from them in last year's Cup final. It's kind of wild how this team has really learned from last year and has statistically really improved. Now in overtime, Leon Draisaitl scored the overtime winner, obviously, but beforehand, it damn near went to double overtime. It was like 30 seconds away, but I really thought the Oilers controlled most of the play. I think that the Oilers were by far the better team in that overtime frame from what I watched. They had multiple chances from like Kapanen and Bouchard, and I think like Henrique had a good chance in there as well. They really weren't giving Florida a whole lot, hence them having 46 shots to Florida's 32. It's just unmatched. And then obviously they take that penalty there late in the period. Nosek that being, and I knew that was going to be over. And Draisaitl scores the overtime winner from McDavid and Perry. And the Oilers have a 1-0 lead here heading into Game 2, which will be on Friday. Just overall, I mean, any takeaways from the overtime frame, guys?
I'll start off here, I guess. Florida came out of the overtime like they really put the pressure on. I think they were in Edmonton's zone for like the first 5 full minutes or four full minutes. Like when they were getting to Stuart Skinner, and I'm like, oh wow, Florida's gonna win this overtime. And then momentum shifted after a big Stuart Skinner save, and and then like you said, as soon as Nosek took that penalty, like all right, I guess it's good. It's over. Edmonton wins.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? Carter and Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching ESPN, so I saw some of the overtime highlights. They showed 2 breakaways for the Oilers before the goal. So, I mean, really both goalies kind of stood on their heads in OT. I mean, Skinner keeping them in it for the first, 4 or 5 minutes, like LeBlanc said. And then, the 2 breakaways, keeping Florida in it. But then eventually, you can't give Edmonton a power play. I mean, like you said, I think, once you see that Edmonton has a power play in OT, it's like, yeah, okay, they're going to lock in here.
Yeah, that's right. Even I honestly it's just wraps. Yeah. What we're gonna do here is we're going to give an MVP from each team. We're gonna go down the list here. I'm gonna let Mr. Carter Richaud go first. Carter, who are your MVPs from the Oilers and the Panthers, and why?
All right. Well, my MVP for the Edmonton Oilers is going to be none other than the game-winning goal scorer and the opening goal scorer too, Leon Draisaitl. I think this guy was all over the ice tonight. He had so many chances to score. He was making so many of the right plays, and he just looked absolutely unbelievable out there. So he's going to be my MVP for the Edmonton Oilers. As far as Florida goes, you could probably go Sam Bennett. He had 2 goals. But honestly, I'm going to go with Sergei Bobrovsky. I think he looked really, really good in that one.
Who'd you say, Carter?
Sorry. Did I lose connection?
I think you might have. You were literally glitchy. Who'd you say, Carter?
Okay. I said it was between Sam. I could go Sam Bennett. He had 2 goals, but I'm going to go with Sergei Bobrovsky. He faced damn near 50 shots, 46 shots. And we know that this guy in a regular game loses 15 pounds just straight through the game. So he was already tired, but he still came up clutch, made so many great saves all throughout. And on all those breakaway chances that Edmonton had, as Jack mentioned, he made it very tough for them to score. So I'd give it to Sergei Bobrovsky. I mean, anytime you face 50 shots and, you let in only 4, I mean, I think that's pretty solid.
if it weren't for Bob, that game is over, like
Real
instantly
quick.
in overtime. Like those were so many breakaways where, like, if that's almost any other goalie in the NHL that's going in, but Bob is just that good. He's that unreal. My MVP for the Oilers is going to be Draisaitl as well. Had the 2 goals, the game-winning goal, and the opening scoring goal. I think Draisaitl, again, I said in the preview last night, ironically enough, is that this is like last year they didn't have Draisaitl. He didn't score a lot in the finals. I think he maybe had 1 assist, and already here he had 0, really. So he was worse than that. So already here he has more points than he did in the final. I mean, it's not hard, but even still, like getting him fully healthy and him contributing, I think is going to go a long way for the Oilers here for sure. And then my MVP for the Panthers, I'm going to go with I'll hit up Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett had 2 goals today. I think Bennett was very good. The goals were nice as well, although the one was controversial. You need goals from like your second line center and stuff like that, and you did from Sam Bennett. So good on that. LeBlanc, I'll go to you next. Who are your MVPs?
So for Florida, I'm gonna go Florida first. You can't I can't say anyone else other than Sergei Bobrovsky. Like
That's valid.
yeah, like without Bob and net, this might be a massacre. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You might be right, actually.
And then for the Oilers, I'm not going to say Draisaitl because you two have said Draisaitl. I'm going to actually say Connor McDavid. I feel McDavid set up a lot of very good plays tonight. He set up Draisaitl for the OT winner, and he set up Draisaitl. I'm pretty sure he set up Draisaitl for the opening goal as well. So
He also set up Ekholm for the third
right,
one.
the Ekholm, yes, excuse me. So
yeah, McDavid
sets up
had
the tying
the
goal,
2 assists.
sets up the game-winning goal. Without McDavid there, I mean, you could say someone else could have filled the shoes, but we'll give him his flowers.
Yeah, shout out to Kasperi Kapanen too. Also had 2 assists,
And he also had 1 post.
He had a great game.
He did have 1 post. He played pretty damn good.
He did.
Jack, your last stop. Who do you got? I mean, honestly, like Florida dominated that second period, as LeBlanc said. I mean, honestly, if this is the regular Stuart Skinner, he probably allows more than 1 goal. He could have let this game get away from the Oilers in that second period, but not this version of Skinner. So I like to see that there for sure. Game 2 is on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will be back with you guys at 8 a.m. the following day. That's when the podcast uploads. We'll record it the night before, but we'll be back with you guys then for Game 2. One final piece of news here that I do want to discuss before we call it wraps here on this episode. I don't believe anything else has happened. It's been kind of a crazy day for me, so I'm probably wrong. But is it Dan Moose or Don Moose? Muse. Oh my God, I'm saying it wrong. Hang on. You can tell I'm not prepared at all. New coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Dan Muse. Yes. So
Dan Muse.
He's 42 years old. Muse?
Sorry, Muse. Not like Muse, like Dan Muse.
Muse? Okay. All right. He's 42, was an assistant coach with the Predators and the Rangers over the last 8 years, and has been a head coach with the United States Development Program. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I did not know who this guy was. I even said to LeBlanc, I'm like, who the hell is this? But to be honest with you, I don't think it's a bad hire. Again, like, this is a guy who's been an assistant coach. He's been head coaches with the United States Development Program. I think that it really does matter. It's good to see a coach who never got a head coaching opportunity in the NHL get one. So I definitely like that for sure from the Penguins. But any thoughts on that, guys?
So
Yeah, me neither.
Dan Muse has been an assistant coach under Laviolette, so he knows Laviolette's system. So he's probably going to implement some sort of system like Laviolette, maybe tweak it to his own liking. But I like Pittsburgh giving a first-time head coach a shot, especially because they know the rebuild is coming. Like, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, get somebody in there who's like not like, a big name guy. Like, I don't really think a big name guy would like move the needle that much on this team. Maybe getting someone like Muse who can help with maybe the young players and development. Who knows, honestly. And then last piece of news here, LeBlanc, do you have something else? Sorry.
I just hope it goes well for him. Pittsburgh's a very tough place to. When Pittsburgh is not having great seasons, their fans usually turn on their management and coaching very quickly. So I hope heading into a transition period for Pittsburgh that it goes well for him. I'm gonna say this right now. It feels like when Ottawa hired DJ Smith.
It does, honestly. What's funny too is that the Penguins nearly hired DJ Smith.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been pretty funny. All right, 2 more things here to get to. First and foremost, we'll go with Brock Nelson first. He signed a 3-year, $7.5 million contract today. That deal begins this year with the Colorado Avalanche. A little bit shocked he went back to Colorado, but when you see the replacements that are at hand there for him with the Avalanche, honestly, like you're paying a lot more. I don't think it's like terrible by any means. I'm not a huge fan of it though. I think it's a little bit too much money for a guy who's that old. If he can be good for like 2 of those 3 years, I think that's good, but it's a little bit too much money than I would offer. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
You gave up Mikko Rantanen for this?
That is true.
That's my first thought comes to mind. Like, I like Brock Nelson, but he's 34 and 7.5 for 3 years. It's a bit of an overpay in my eyes.
He had a down year too. He had a down year as well.
Like maybe next year he comes back and maybe he has a better year, but he's only gonna regress the further you get down this road. Like this kind of screams LTIR in year 3.
I could really see him being a merchant next year of like McKinnon or whatever. Actually, no, he's a center, so he wouldn't play with McKinnon. Never mind.
Put him on power play.
That's true. That is my sign to go to bed, fellas. That is it for this episode of the NordCast. Carter, any final thoughts?
Not a thing.
Good night, Carter.
Thank
Jack, any final thoughts? Good night, Jack. And LeBlanc, any final thoughts?
Why was your graduation in the evening? To me, that's weird.
Okay, it was at 6 p.m.
That's weird. My grad was at like 11 a.m.
11 a.m.?
Yeah.
What the hell?
That way,
Yeah, we did it at night.
Grad's done, and then we go get brunch. It's great. It was great.
Or you get wasted. Well, you could also do that with mine.
You can't do that. You got 21 years old.
Hey, high school graduates.
That's a crazy statement.
Hey! I didn't say you could get wasted legally. I just said get wasted.
Promoting underage drinking is not something we should be doing, Nordic.
I mean, there are children that listen
Crazy.
to the podcast. Don't drink, guys.
Hashtag cancel Nordic.
Don't drink, guys. Just drink responsibly. Anyways, that's it for this episode of the NordCast. Thank you all for watching. It's a short episode here, but I'm assuming that's what a lot of these are going to be. But thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to yet again another episode of the NordCast. If you enjoyed, please subscribe down below or follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we are at NordCast. If you want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, follow at NordCast_. That'll do it for this episode. I'm Nordic. Thanks for listening from all the crew, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.